Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we are featuring this lovely Oris Big Crown ProPilot Big Date Bronze. It's a striking looking watch. The RIP on one of these is £2,000, but that is before you get into any kind of discounts. So the look of it, it's got this really sharp, lovely bronze looking case. Yes, there are going to be some people on air who are going to say, oh, but it's going to get darker and go mangy over time or whatever. For one, you can actually remove any patina which builds up on a watch case. That's not a problem. I think it's like citric acid or white vinegar and baking soda, something like that. It removes it anyway. And two, some people like that. Some people like when it starts building up patina on there, and you know, everyone likes different things. We've just got to accept that. But before I get too far into this review, I've got to say a massive thank you to the team over at First Class Watches of Kenilworth for allowing me to review this piece. So many cool, interesting models. Yeah, well worth popping into the Kenilworth branch if you're in the area. If you're a little bit further afield, well, don't worry, I'll leave a link in the description below and at the bottom of the page now. All I ask is that you please mention the channels, it really would help. So let's talk sizes of this one first. It has a case size of 40.5 millimeters. The bezel protrudes ever so slightly, so that gives its 41 millimeters. The thickness of the watch is coming in at, say, 12.8 mil. The lug-to-lug length on it is 48.5, and the strap size is 20 millimeters. Now, the dial I think is really quite cool. Let's have a look at this. We have these applied hour markers. They're very, very subtle, and it's almost hard to see they are actually applied, but they are. They've got just a little bit of depth to them, and so you get that little shadow beneath and at the edges of them, and it kind of gives it that bit more kind of just a little bit more of a premium look, really. I like the fact that the minute markers around the side here mimic the bronze gild to them. It kind of gives it a bit of cohesion between the dial and the case. The hands themselves, we've got this matte black handset matching the dial, and it looks really sharp with the lume in there. Talking of the lume, the lume is a very nice blue lume. Does look good. Not super long lasting, but nonetheless it looks good. You do have the Oris logo in the matching gilt and the ProPilot, as you can see, Big Crown ProPilot down the bottom there and Swiss made. It does look very sharp, and you have the big date over here. It's not particularly big, but it's probably as big as you can get on this movement ring, so it still does look very sharp. And this little white tip here, you almost don't see the black on the second hand there. It does look kind of cool. So overall, the dial looks great. As we come out, this is one of the slight problems I would say with this watch. We have this lovely double domed sapphire crystal. As you can see, it magnifies the inner track there, so we have got a double domed. But as you can tell all the way through this video so far, my God, does it reflect everything. It does have AR coating on the inside, but alas, it doesn't have it on the outside, or just not enough anyway on the inside. So it does reflect absolutely everything you can see there. This could have been such a perfect watch if they would have just put some AR either on the outside or much stronger on the inside. I know some people don't like AR coating on the outside. They say it can mark up. Yes, of course it can, but like anything, you can refinish it. When the AR gets too marked up, you can just remove it, and then you still have the AR on the inside, so at least you've got the best of both worlds for X amount of years before whenever you actually were to mark it. So it is just a little bit of a shame that the AR is a little bit weak. The bezel itself has got this kind of a typical Oris turned kind of almost like knurling around the edge there. It looks really, really good and does a good job of breaking up that bezel from the case. I do quite like it. One thing I should mention as well, the watch does feature 100 meters of water resistance to it. The case is just so well finished. It looks really nice. Saturnized finish, but it just looks really sharp how they've done everything there. It is a little bit of a shame they don't do the inside there to match the outside. That's one criticism I do have with Oris sometimes, is they don't do this, which is perfectly okay when you have a bracelet model, but when it is a strap model, you do see inside there, and you do notice that. The crown itself is quite sharp. The reason why they say big crown is pilot watches back in the day had to have a big crown, because the simple fact was they'd be wearing gloves and they would need to manually wind their watches. So that's why you'd always have a big crown on a pilot's watch. As you can see, pulls out, pops out nicely there. So, you know, it is a very easy to manipulate crown, no problem at all. Let's screw that back in. It is, as I say, after all, screw down crown. But yeah, it does look really good. Let's open this clasp. We'll talk about the clasp in a second, he says. Can I open it? There we go. And on the back there, you have the steel case back, because obviously you don't want the bronze against your skin. And you're greeted with the good old typical, as they call it, the caliber 751, I should say. And that is a Sellita SW200. I put it on the time graph. I think it was pulling plus 3 seconds. I demagged it at first because it was a little bit high. I think it was like plus 5. But then it was coming out to plus 3 seconds. So absolutely no problem there. But at least that was in the position I had it in. The SW200 movement, it's basically a ETA 2824 based clone version. Got 38 hours of power reserve. Will go on a little bit longer than that, but you will get a drop in power curve after that time. You'll probably squeeze out about 42, some people have said. 26 dual movement, bi-directional rotor, winding, no problem at all. I do say this with any of these base movements, don't overwind them. It's okay getting them started, but what some people I do see, I do come across from time to time, is they'll take a watch off and just start winding it for no reason. Now it's already fully wound. You're just basically causing excessive wear on it. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. But get it started, no problem at all. So anyway, movement, absolutely superb. The case, the strap on this one is a sailcloth kind of style with leather on the inside here. And it is nice how I've done that, because it is very comfortable. It's pliable enough, and it's one of these which I think will only get better over time. I wasn't too sure about the colour at first, but I have to say it does look good. The clasp, I really like the clasp. It's so obvious where they got their design cues from. And I like the fact that they've even left the lift on there. So this obviously is a seat belt, on an airplane, a seat belt buckle. And it is superb. I like the fact that they're the only people I think who actually use this. And being this system here, what you can do is you pull this down and you've got an infinite amount of variations when it comes to actually the fitment of this. And so it is really, really nice. And there you go, fit, nice snap to it, and then release. I do like this watch. I think it's really good. I should also point out it is available in steel. And in the steel variations, you can also get a bracelet. Unfortunately, you can't for this one, unless you want to wear the steel bracelet on this. So you do have a steel bracelet variation, but you also have a blue and a black dial in steel. So, one of those things. But overall, I like this one a lot. Let me put it on my wrist so you got an idea how it looks. Quick wrist check. I'm wearing my good old trusty Panerai 177 here. I love this watch. I've had it for absolutely years. When I say years, I mean about 15 of them. So, really cool watch. Absolutely iconic. It's a shame you don't see so many Panerais these days. And Bob has got the new Hamilton chronograph there. Let's get that running. It is a very, very nice looking watch. I quite like that one. So anyway, my wrist size is 7¼ inches. Let's put this on. Try not to press that down. Don't know if it's set up for me at the moment, but there you go. It's a little bit loose, but overall, it's a nice watch. Say, wrist size 7¼ inches, 18.5 centimeters. It does look really ever so good, I think. Let me know in the comments what you think of this one. Oh, one thing I should point out, you do get a 2-year warranty, but if you register the watch with Oris, they will bump that up to 3 years. So there you go. Overall, great looking watch. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. All the best, guys. Take care. Stay safe.